Hey y'all, and welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to make crescent rolls, and I'm going to show y'all how easy you can make homemade crescent rolls at home, and you don't have to buy those cans. I'm making enough today to cook a batch, plus put some in the freezer to save for another day. So y'all come on and join us in the kitchen as we cook these easy homemade crescent rolls. Let's get started. I'm fixing to make homemade crescent rolls. I think my yeast is working good. Now if I can just get it in my bowl without wasting it. Okay, right here we have 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast with a little bit of maple syrup and a 1/2 cup of water. So now we're going to add a 1/2 cup of warm milk. Make sure it's not too hot or it will kill your yeast. 1 egg. Just a dash of salt. Around 1/4 teaspoon. We're going to add around a tablespoon of honey. Three tablespoons of melted butter. And now to that, we're going to start adding our flour. We'll probably use about 3 cups of flour. That's 1. 2. Okay, we're going to go with 3 right there. And now we're just going to start mixing our dough. Now you can use a stand mixer for this, like a KitchenAid mixer to do all the work, but today we're mixing it ourselves. Okay, now I'm just going to put my hands in there and start working our dough. You can see that I've almost got all my flour off the sides of this bowl. I don't want a real dry dough, so I'm going to go with that right there. That's 3 cups. So now we're just going to take our dough out. I'm going to use this little mister and spray my bowl. Just going to let my dough set and rise before we make our crescent rolls. Our house is pretty warm today, so I'm just going to set it over here and cover it. Or you can put it in the oven with only the light on for around 30 minutes if your house is a lot cooler. And you can use saran wrap, but I'm just going to use a plate instead of wasting money using like saran wrap or anything to cover it with. I'm just using a plain old plate. Our dough is doubled in size. So now we're going to punch it down and start kneading it till we get it to make our crescent roll. So right here, you're probably adding maybe 3 tablespoons of flour. Okay, y'all, now we're going to roll it out. I'm going to start off with rolling it on this butcher block cutting board. I don't know how long I'll be able to keep it on here because it's going to get to be a big circle just like a pizza. It's what I'm aiming for. And we'll want to get it about 1/4 inch thick. This is going to take a lot of muscles and a little bit of effort. But we're working on getting the circle just like a pizza. And now I'm going to go ahead and remove it from my cutting board. And we're going to place it right here on our counter. My counter's clean, so I'm just going to add me a little bit of flour to my countertop just so it don't stick. And we're going to keep rolling it just a little bit more till we get it a tiny bit bigger than what we got it. For the countertop, we'll probably be using around a tablespoon, maybe 2 tablespoons. And now we're just going to place our dough back on our counter and start trying to work it into our circle. And now we're going to finish trying to get it rolled out. I want it the size of a pizza, around a 12-inch pizza. I got it almost just the way I want it. And whenever I start cutting it, I'm going to use a pizza cutter. This right here is the best way that I've found to cut these when you're making homemade crescent rolls. It gives you a clean, clear cut so you can pull your triangles apart very easy. Your dough just comes apart perfectly into the little triangle to make homemade crescent rolls with. And here's what they look like. They look just like the ones you get in the can. The ones in the can, you know, are triangles and they're stuck together and they're like a sheet of 4. Well, these you just start rolling the ends just like you would the ones in the can. Start with the big end and roll up. Fold the bottom under. And look at there, you got an easy crescent roll that you made yourself. No cans around here. Don't forget to mist your pan with some olive oil spray so they don't stick for whatever kind of pan you're using. That's how easy and simple you can make your own crescent rolls at home to have for dinner. Plus, we're going to be putting some in our freezer. Tonight, I'm going to cook 8 of these. We'll have some for leftovers and plenty for tonight. The rest we'll be putting in the freezer. And once we get these all put on our pan, we're going to put a butter wash on them also. I've melted some butter and put a little bit of garlic in it. And we're going to brush the tops of our crescent rolls. And now once we get these made, we're going to go ahead and bake these on 350 for around 10 to 12 minutes. Just watch them close because it don't take long. Okay, let's go place these in the oven on 350. This is an easy way to put dinner on the table, and you don't have to spend all that extra money on those cans. Now these other 8 we're going to take and I'm going to roll out and we're going to place them on this rack, and then we're going to place the rack on a shelf in the freezer, and I'm going to let them sit in there for around probably 2 hours until they get froze all the way through, and then we're going to take and put them in a Ziploc bag and store them in the freezer. When I get ready to cook these, I'll just have to take them out, let them unthaw, and let them rise for around 15 minutes right before we cook them. And then I will butter these on the tops also with a butter sauce, but not till I get ready to cook them. Now we're going to place this in the freezer for around 2 hours. Now right here's my butter and garlic. I'm just going to brush the tops of each one. This just gives it extra flavor and a golden brown on the top. You can also use the egg wash if you want to, but I like using butter on top of mine. And these go with anything that you're serving. And you can also use these for recipes, just like you do the ones in the can. So we're going to go ahead now and take these back out of the freezer, and then we're going to place them in our Ziploc bag. And now I can take them out 2 at a time, or maybe 3, and cook them whenever we're ready for them. I don't have to cook them all at once. When you're cooking for just 2 people, it don't take many. But I love having these in the freezer so they're there when we get ready for one. This could save you a lot of money and time. Okay, y'all, we just took the first batch out of the oven, and look how fluffy and pretty these crescent rolls are. Okay, y'all, this is what we're having for dinner tonight. We're having our crescent rolls, hamburger steak, and white soup beans. These right here are quick and easy. You can make to have any night of the week. Okay, y'all, I hope you liked this video, and if you do, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. So now I'm going to go ahead and brush the butter on top of just the ones I'm going to cook. The ones that we're putting in the freezer, we'll butter them when we get ready to cook them. But we're just coating each one with a good layer of salted butter. So now we're just going to get them put in the oven and cook our homemade crescent rolls. Okay, y'all, we've got them in the oven, and boy, are they looking pretty. The other batch I put in the freezer. I'm going to freeze them first, and then we'll put them in our Ziploc bag. And then I can just take them out, ever how many I want to cook, and have them ready when I get ready to make crescent rolls. And I won't have to buy them in those cans. It'll help us save a lot of money. Not to mention, they are so much better than the store-bought. You can use these for any kind of recipe that calls for crescent rolls, or just serve them on the side with your dinner. This is how I'm going to store them. I'm just going to put them in a gallon bag, and then we're going to place them in the freezer and have them whenever we decide we want a homemade crescent roll. And we don't have to buy them. I hope y'all like this video, and if you do, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.